Welcome to another episode of Ravenfield. Hope everybody is doing well. So it's the summertime right now, right? And I've just really haven't been doing much except watching movies. And one of the movies that I've been watching are Pixar movies. And my favorite Pixar movie, I think, is The Incredibles. I think a lot of people can agree on that. So I've been rewatching The Incredibles. And I watched The Incredibles when I was younger, right? I think everybody has probably been shown The Incredibles when they were in school, maybe on like the last day of school or during somebody's birthday. I don't know. But we've all seen The Incredibles, at least the original Incredibles, which came out before I was born, unfortunately, I guess. Now, obviously, I think that the first Incredibles is a great movie. Syndrome is just an overall great villain. He has a good story arc, right? He doesn't like superheroes because he feels betrayed by them, like when he was younger. And obviously Syndrome is this super evil villain. He has like these Omni-droids that battle for him. He's super intelligent. It's like rocket boots. And I think the first Incredibles is the first adult-oriented movie that Pixar has made, directed by Brad Bird. Like how in the opening scene, Mr. Incredible works at an insurance company for many years after superheroes were made illegal. So the whole story arc of that is pretty good. I have no problems with the first Incredibles. I think most people enjoy that movie. Now the second Incredibles came out in 2018, so 14 years after the first one. So I was rewatching this, and I thought it was like mediocre at best. I don't know. I know a lot of people like this movie. I'm not saying I don't like it, but it's not one of my favorites. I just feel like the plot could have been worked on a lot more. So the whole plot of this movie starts when Devon from DevTech, right, gives his business card to Frozone. And that leads the Incredibles to go to his office, and then he gives his pitch, right, with Evelyn standing creepily in the background, where he talks about how he's going to save superheroes and make them legal because superheroes are protecting the public, right? And where Devon is going to basically place body cams on these superheroes so that the public can actually see what they're doing is good. So now immediately I already see some red flags, right, before I even know who the villain is. Because the thing is, like, what happens when, some powerful rich guy promises so much, right, to make superheroes legal, and he brings them into, like, his big office building or mansion that's, like, billions of dollars, that's super fancy, and then he houses them in another one of his mansions, right, and then Elastigirl gets her own motorcycle that she can use to do her superhero crime fighting. So all this seems too good to be true. And I think that when your gut tells you something is too good to be true, and it's probably too good to be true. So immediately I'm getting like 1984 deja vu, where Winston and Julia, they trust O'Brien in that they're going to eventually rebel against the system, against Big Brother. If any of you have read that book. But yeah, anyways, turns out Devon isn't actually the villain, it's his sister, Evelyn. And her whole motivation, right, for being the villain is that her parents died because they were betting on superheroes saving them, right, instead of the actual police, which I think, like, I don't know, it's not stupid, it's just kind of lame and a little bit underwhelming for a Pixar movie that took 14 years to make and boxed office over $1 billion. Now, I could obviously never make a Pixar movie, but I don't know, for such a big company, I feel like they could have come up with something better, right? So now Evelyn is pretty rich, right? So maybe the writers could have made her hate superheroes because they destroyed part of her real estate instead of blaming them for killing her parents. But yeah, that's just an idea. I don't know. I don't know any screenwriting, but let's see. Now, Evelyn is like her own sort of evil genius, just like Syndrome is. She has these goggles that she places on people so that she can control them or possess them to do what she wants. So she's kind of like that way in relation to Syndrome. She's like evil genius. But the one flaw I see with this is like she needs like the superheroes or the person that she's controlling. She needs their eyes to be open, right? To be under possession of her goggles for the screenslaver. Like, what if the person that she's trying to possess just closes their eyes? What happens in that case, right? And instead of trying so hard to like take off the goggles or trying to like defeat her, what if, right, after knowing what the goggles do, they just close their eyes? Will it still have an effect on them? I don't know. That's a question that I have that was unanswered by Pixar. But besides all the criticism I have for the movie, I think the animation is great. Like all the animation quality and stuff, given this movie made in 2018, which seems like a long time ago now. The animation is really good. I feel like Pixar was really showing off with this one. And I think obviously Jack Jack is my favorite part of the movie. A lot of people's favorite part is probably Jack Jack. Yeah, all of his abilities, like being able to transform into monsters or having laser eyes, that's pretty cool. Okay, now after watching a movie, I usually search it up, right? And one of the things I'm surprised to see is that they're making an Incredibles 3. Pixar is working on Incredibles 3? Like what? Like why? I thought The Incredibles 2 was good. Maybe, I don't know, cash grabbing. Is that what Pixar's doing? Is Pixar just trying to cash grab now? And they're making a Toy Story 5 too. Even though I feel like Toy Story 3 was like the perfect ending. Then they made a Toy Story 4. Now they're gonna make a Toy Story 5. I don't know what's going on. What's next for Pixar? Up 2? Right? Or Finding Marlin? Is that what's gonna happen next? Yeah, The Incredibles 3, I don't know what's gonna be in The Incredibles 3. Apparently it's gonna come out in 2027. Who knows how far they're gonna push that back. And on the topic of Pixar, I still don't get all the hate for the original Cars movie. Now, I really enjoyed the first Cars movie. I think the only thing that I understand is that Lightning McQueen is not a very likable character because he's arrogant, and people don't really care to see him improve throughout the movie because he's arrogant for like almost the entirety of the movie, except at the very end. And the whole plot of the movie just is very predictable. That was one of the first movies I watched, and I really enjoyed it. And I think I still do. Now, I agree with everybody with Cars 2. Cars 2 was kind of just a dumb movie. I don't know why they made Mater the main character and they decided to make it a spy movie. And I also just kind of hate all the characters in that movie. And Cars 3, just seeing Lightning McQueen get beaten by these other new generation racers was kind of sad. But I don't really care about the other Cars movies. The original Cars, I still think it's pretty good. I don't get all the hate for that. But yeah, this summer I really have just been watching a ton of movies. Not doing much. Staying inside mostly. And yeah, that's about all I have for this video.